Now, the story brings me to this city called Quadamonte in Central America. Or a country called Quadamonte. I'm still confused where I am. But apparently, well, anyways, story aside, the how would you call this? The nitpicking, the OCD, the perfectionist in me is just it has to comment. Now, I understand how difficult of an endeavor it must be for designers or developers, for that matter, to accommodate the obvious lack of communication that would naturally occur between a tourist visiting a country that doesn't speak English natively. And so they accommodate this by having the natives of this country who spit in these things and eat and sell vegetables on the street, they accommodate by having them, as you guessed it.
I wasn't gonna get anything out of the gourd lady except spit.
Oh, not her. They accommodate it by having, as you guessed it, having them.
Go away! You carry the curse of Tezcatlipoca.
Speak perfect English. Go away, you carry the curse of Tezcatlipoca. Now, I don't want to be. I am though, so it's not that I don't want to be. I'm going to. Imagine if a designer was able to develop a way to allow all languages be spoken natively, and not through like some miraculous subtitles. Communication is continues, flows. It would require that you just, I don't know how to do it, but imagine that would be so much more immersive if I got here and I'm like, oh shoot, I have to talk to these people, but I don't know how. And so that give it a little side quest, give it like a 5-10 minute little side quest where I just have to figure out how to communicate with these people instead of just bam, just like they all speak English. That's just what they do. I guess there's so many foreigners, as you can clearly see, that their whole economy is based around tourism, and so they all speak English perfectly to accommodate this. It's not real. It's just like to me it's lazy. There is a way to do it. A simple side quest would do it, and that'd be amazing to see a game go to that measures to maintain immersion. Do it for the sake of the gamer. Do it for the sake of the person playing the game, to allow for immersion. I'm not asking for much.
You see this? It's my lucky piece of coal.
What's so lucky about it?
I'm not sure yet.
Nice buns.
Can you tell me anything about this statue?
It is Tezcatlipoca, the god of death and pestilence. That fetish would be considered by many to be a bad omen.
How come you're not wearing any pants?
I feel more alert without them. A kind of perky.
And your boss doesn't mind?
She suggested it.
She suggested it. She suggested it. She suggested it. Get ready for another awesome, well, in this case, NPC interaction with their environment. Watch the old guy right here.
With the mine closed
This
down,
guy right here.
there'll be
Watch
no
what he does when he walks out of the
observe
room.
Your excavation. I have visitors.
Just remember what I told you, General. There's really no need to make a martyr out of that man.
That's so cool. He tips his hat to the guy working at the desk.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, senor. Welcome.
So unnecessary, but makes the whole
My name's
situation so
George
much
Stobart
natural.
from California.
And
But what is
get
this?
ready for the most awkward
Angel,
kiss,
down to earth.
hand kiss in the world. In 3, 2, 1. Looks like he wipes his face on her hand. He's like,
Look, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
you are about to witness a dialogue whose blatant disregard to social correctness makes me so angry. And it's only because the designers allowed it. Makes me angry because it takes me away from immersion in the game. I have mentioned this 100 times in every tutorial that I do. Immersion, immersion, immersion. The point of playing a game is to be immersed in it, to feel like you are there, you're experiencing it. And when dialogues occur that would never happen if you were there, to me, it's not comedic, because it's not purposely supposed to be comedic. I guess you could find it comedic if you like to see comedy in various places, but I would thoroughly enjoy the exhilaration, of knowing that I have to navigate a dialogue like I like the other person is an actual human being and not some computerized character. And so you're going to see it right here. Immediately you're going to see how artificial and ridiculous this dialogue is. This person here is a professor that I have heard about 100 times, and I've heard his entire backstory and everything about him. I'm finally meeting him for the first time. And look what this game allows me to do when I talk to him.
Professor Ubier?
Yes? Who are you?
My name is Stobart. George Stobart. Tell me about your wife, Professor.
Please, I don't want to talk about her.
You shot her, didn't you?
No! I loved Carol. She meant the world to me.
See? That's insane! It allows me to just... Because I heard that this guy had... there was a mystery behind how his wife passed away and rumors about this guy killing him. And this is my first time meeting him, and the game allows me to just go straight into that. Just go, hi, I'm George Stobart. Tell me about your wife. You shot her, didn't you? Like, it's just... It doesn't make sense that I'm allowed to do that. If this was a real-life situation, this guy would not be talking to me anymore. Simple as that. I would not be able to continue on and ask something simple like...
Would you like a biscuit?
No, thank you.
You should, they're good.
It's,
I can't do enough of these things.
look at the freaking variation in dialogue here. I go from accusations touching on this insanely sensitive and hard moment in this guy's life, digging up all these memories and emotions to, you want a biscuit? Yes, comedic in its own right, but it's not comedic purposefully. It's comedic if you want to look at it that way, which does takes you out of immersion. You cannot feel like this is a real life situation that you are trying to solve a mystery when you are allowed to do that. You have to laugh at it. And to me, if that was the purpose of it, then I would enjoy it. Like I mentioned before, trying to pry open the elevator with your bare hands is pretty funny, especially when he says, this is not how you usually open up an elevator. I get that, that's funny, but this is not supposed to be funny, and so it shouldn't be allowed. There should be careful measures taken to assure that the dialogues that you have with these people cannot be taken for granted in this way. It's like my little, I guess, another soapbox moment for me. Here's another weird thing. I just barely had a long conversation with this guy. That was a horrible conversation. I accused him and then I accused him of shooting his wife, and then I offered him biscuits, dog biscuits, I mean, honestly. And now I want to address this guy. Right? But I'm standing next to this guy, but I want to address this guy. And I can, because I can allow my mouse to pass over this guy and go to this guy.
Do you think the general was involved with Condor?
Hell no. And if he's a general, I'm a Buddhist. No, that fella's just a mouthpiece for the real power in Quaramonte.
How the heck does this guy in the truck know I'm talking to him? I am talking in a regular toned voice, and I'm closest to the dude in the hat. I'm actually facing the dude in the hat. In fact, that dude in the hat could be blocking my view from the guy in the truck, yet somehow this guy in the truck knows I am addressing him. Now I get it. It's a design issue, but is it possible to somehow allow for, once again, realism to shine forth if there are more than one NPC character or characters you can engage in conversation with in the area? When you engage in conversation with one of them, you first address that person by his name, so that it's just, once again, if this was a real life situation, I couldn't walk up to a situation where there's more than one person there and just start talking, and the person who I'm addressing just knows I'm talking to him. They would both look at me like, who are you asking this question to? Both of us? One of us? So there has to be some type of code that you can implement. It can't be that elaborate of a code where it takes up so much space that they're like, nah, I didn't want to deal with it. That you can implement where if the situation has more than one NPC characters with whom you can engage conversation. When you engage conversation with one of them, you first address that person by their first name, so that a natural flow of conversation occurs between you and that person. That type of code has to be possible. Why wouldn't it be? It doesn't seem that complicated. Even with my ignorant mind, it doesn't seem that complicated to allow that.